Today, we are diving into one of the most exciting journeys that you will ever experience, and that is buying your first home. Whether you're tired of renting or you're ready to make an investment, this guide is for you, and we're gonna get right into it. As a real estate agent, I have witnessed my first-time homebuyers get very overwhelmed during this process. There are a lot of steps involved, and they do tend to move very quickly. Because of that, I want to break this down to you in a few quick and simple steps so that you can be as prepared as possible and not feel like you are unaware of anything flying at you. Your first step before even talking to a loan officer or a real estate agent is to assess your financial situation. This is crucial to know where you're at so that when you do go and chat with a loan officer, you can tell them what you are and what you aren't comfortable with spending when it comes to your monthly mortgage payments. Some things that I would recommend that you check are your credit score, working on paying down any debts, and saving up for a down payment as well as closing costs. Step 2 is to determine your budget. This pretty much fits right in with step 1, but this is where you're going to play with numbers a little bit more on your own. Consider your monthly income expenses and how much you can comfortably spend on your mortgage each month. Don't forget to factor in property taxes, insurance, and additional maintenance costs. Your loan officer can help you figure out the rough estimates of this too. Step 3 is to get pre-approved for a mortgage. And yes, you do want to make sure that you do this before you start looking at houses. As a realtor, I always want to make sure that my clients are pre-approved before we start going in and looking at houses, because you would never want to go into a home, fall in love with it, and then later realize that you can't afford that house. To get pre-approved, this is where you're going to sit down with a loan officer and provide them with financial documents such as tax returns, pay stubs. A pre-approval letter from a lender is going to show sellers that you are a serious buyer and can give you a competitive edge. Step 4, which is my favorite step, is to find a real estate agent. You may even already have one before step 4, and that is totally normal. I highly suggest interviewing a few agents before making a final decision on who you want to help you through one of the biggest purchases of your entire life. You want to look for a good agent who will be there every step of the way to guide you through the process. They also need to be able to help you find homes with the criteria that you're looking for and need to be able to negotiate the best deal for you. Also, this is a very important one. You want to make sure that you find an agent with experience in the area that you're looking in. Step number 5, you are now ready to start the house hunting process. You will want to sit down with your agent and make a list of your must-haves and your nice-to-haves. I recommend keeping your mind open while you are going to showings and take pictures of the homes that you like along the way. Since this is your first home, I would try not to worry too much about the cosmetics of the home, such as squeaky door, a dirty carpet, scratches on the wall. Those are all things that are very simple fixes on your own time while you're living there and will add value and equity into your home as you're living in it. You also want to make sure to consider the neighborhood that you're moving into. I always like to suggest to my clients, it's a great idea if there is a specific home that you like, take 30 minutes or so and walk through the neighborhood, just feel it out a little bit. Of course, you want to think about your commute to work and the potential for resale value. Step number 6, once you find the perfect home for you, this is where you're going to make an offer. In the market that we're in right now, you do need to be prepared for a competitive offer, especially if you are looking in the Northland. Houses specifically in the Kansas City Northland are getting swept up within the first week of being put on the market. And if you are looking in that area, make sure to reach out to me because this is my area of expertise. Once your offer is accepted, you will then enter into the escrow process. And this is where all of the steps start to happen pretty quickly. Within the next 3 days after that, they will expect you to deposit your earnest money. And don't worry, the earnest money amount does end up going into the cost of your down payment. It's basically just showing your sellers that you are a serious buyer. I also highly recommend reaching out to your loan officer before putting the offer in. You should ask them to draft you up an estimate of the closing costs that are going to go into buying this home. This is something that I have seen throw my buyers off into almost not wanting to purchase the home because they were unaware of all of the additional closing costs that go into the purchase of the home. So make sure to do this before putting in an offer. Step 7 is the home inspection and appraisal period. Your realtor is going to help you to to hire a professional to inspect the house. These inspections are typically going to cost you anywhere from $400 to $700. Another thing that first-time homebuyers usually don't realize is that this home inspection does come out of your own pocket, and it is not something that you're going to get the money back for if the inspection comes out bad enough to where you don't end up wanting to purchase the home. So just be mindful of that up front when you find a home that you are truly interested in. Your lender is also going to be in charge of setting up the appraisal to ensure that the home's value matches the loan amount. If any problems are found within either of these steps, you are always able to either negotiate or back out of your offer. When you're in this step of the process is when I typically see buyers start to get very anxious. And that's because it kind of turns into a bit of a waiting game. We have to wait for the inspection report to come back, which usually takes about 10 days, and also for the appraisal report to come back. And it's always very scary to think about the what ifs of it all. But I always try to remind my buyers that they are fully protected in the deal and they are able to walk out at any time if they are uncomfortable. So just be patient and try not to worry. While all of these steps are taking place, I would suggest calling utility companies, trash services, water, electricity, and home insurance, and get quotes for all of that to see what that's going to cost you. You will also want to start getting all of this set up and let them know what your closing date is going to be, which basically means the day that the house is going to officially be under your name. Step 8 is to finalize your loan. Once the inspection and appraisal are complete, you've done your negotiations, you've worked out everything, your lender is going to finalize your loan. This includes locking in your interest rates and signing the final paperwork. Step 9 is closing day. This is the big day when you'll sign all the necessary documents and get the keys handed over to you. And this is the most simple day out of everything. Buying your first home can and probably will be pretty overwhelming, but with the right preparation and guidance, it is 100% achievable. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more helpful tips on homeownership in Kansas City. And before you go, I do have a special offer for you. If you're in your 20s and you're thinking about buying your first home, I have a free ebook that goes into even more depth about this entire process. Make sure to check out the link in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and happy house hunting.